Hello and welcome everyone to Last Level Press. I'm Mr. Black, and it is time we are due for another vlog. Past due, in fact. The last week has been rather quiet, both in terms of interactions with you guys, as well as just overall video content. And there is a reason for that. I've been contending with a couple of things that forced me to really rely upon banked content this past week. Plus, I also really wanted to get out from under the mountain of pre-recorded material from the Sunday before last, which pretty much everything you've seen over the course of the last week came from. All the Wildstar, all the Arma, all of the Chivalry, all came from a single marathon recording session, which we are finally now nearing the end of the content from. So we'll get back to fresh things today. I'm in fact just now sitting down to basically start another evening's worth of recording, however not quite so much as last Sunday. That got to be brutally long and arduous. But I wanted to start with a vlog because I had a few things that I wanted to share with you guys, especially those of you whom I have unintentionally been neglecting here on the YouTube channel, and not those who turned out for the Twitch streams that we started up a couple of weeks ago, and we've been doing every Friday at 7, so if you guys just missed the announcement that we've been doing that, do please join us next time. But I know that there are assuredly a lot of you guys that for whatever reason don't or can't turn out for our streams, which is unfortunate because I have kind of unwittingly been treating those the same way that I was treating weekly vlogs by giving those that turned out for the streams, updates on what's going on, giving them a more candid look as to what I'm working on, what I want to get feedback and stuff from. And because I was kind of getting that out of my system during the streams, it didn't occur to me that I needed to update the rest of you here on YouTube as to what's going on, what we're working on. And so for that reason, I know we've got about, roughly 10 or so regulars that have turned out for the streams. We've got an awesome engaging group that's turned out there, but there are 300 and some odd more of you who haven't turned out. And I don't blame you for any of that. Like I said, I'm sure any of you guys who don't turn out, maybe you just don't like streams, that's cool. I'm actually relatively new to streaming myself, and I'm still rather picky when it comes to who I watch. So, of course, me being horribly amateurish, those of you who have the patience to deal with me in my working out the kinks of streaming, you guys are awesome. But, again, with scheduling and timing and all that, especially because I'm running it on Friday nights when some people may still be busy, there's plenty of you guys that just can't or won't turn out, and I don't want to deprive you guys of the updates here at the channel. So, anyway, that's why we're here tonight. And speaking of vlogs, I intended a couple of weeks ago to conduct another celebratory milestone vlog for our having capped 300 subscribers here on YouTube, which is awesome. That is all you guys, but I'll get a little bit more to that here in a little while. But by the time that I worked through the other things that I was working on at the time, and got around to where I actually had time enough to address that, we had already reached like 330 subscribers, and it was just a couple of days later. So I was just like, well, I don't want to flood the channel with a bunch of yay for all of us vlogs at the time, even though I would really like to. But again, I just don't want to constantly spam with a bunch of milestone vlogs. And as quickly as we've started to accelerate our viewers and our audience lately, I'm actually going to, and like it's kind of painful for me to force myself to do this, and I'm really sorry, I hope you guys can forgive me. I'm going to wait to do another celebratory milestone vlog in terms of, viewership count and everything until we reach 500 subscribers. And at the rate we're moving right now, that's only going to be a couple of weeks. But like I said, I'll touch a little bit more on that here in a moment. There are a few other things I want to cover before I dive into that subject. So as far as channel updates go, like I mentioned, we started up doing live streams every Friday at 7 Central Standard Time for those of you who want to join us but haven't yet. They've been going really, really well. However, not quite without a hitch. Our first week went really well. We streamed for like 7 hours, had a lot of fun, and then week 2 rolled around, and inexplicably out of nowhere, severe technical difficulties reared their ugly heads, and were it not for the just amazingly patient and helpful attentions and advice from our stream hero of the evening, from that week. Mr. Ghost Protocol, a new friend of the channel whose viewership is very, very much appreciated. He helped us by giving us some advice on alternate programs, helped us, run at the same time a bunch of different tests on which programs might be best served for streaming. So after changing streaming programs and tweaking settings and everything, we finally got everything to work really well. And I am so new to streaming, there's no way that I would have been able to fix the problems we were running into without just scrapping the whole stream and having to try again the next week. It was only with Ghost's help that we were able to actually pull that off. So I wanted to give him some thanks and some shout-outs, and I'll do some more here in a little bit, but again, other things I want to get onto first. But that had to be said, and I promised him a shout-out as well during the stream. So despite the technical hiccups that we ran into, running the weekly streams has just been a blast, and now Vi and I look forward to them every week. You guys in the audience that have turned out have just helped to create such a fun and engaging atmosphere for us as hosts for the show that it keeps getting longer and longer every week. Like I said, our first stream was 7 hours. The second week stream went for like 9, although 2 of those were spent doing troubleshooting. And last week, our third went for about 8.5. So it just keeps getting longer and longer every time. And we have been playing Fear, for those of you who will join us in the future, and just finished it last week. We'll start on the Fear DLCs, Extraction Point, and Perseus Mandate in the following weeks. And by audience request, for those who've been turning out, we're going to continue the Fear theme. And after we finish the first game's DLCs, move on to Fear 2, as well as Fear 3, which I have never played. So those of you who turn out for that will actually get to see my first reactions to a game that I have been assured wasn't quite as much of a disappointment as I found Fear 2 to be. Now, all of that said, if you cannot make it to the streams, or you're just not a fan of streams, don't worry. I'm going to be editing episodic highlight reels from the best moments of the stream and uploading them to the channel in the near future. It's going to be a lot of editing and a lot of work, because that's several hours worth of footage to go through and post up. But if you guys like them, I will make that a regular part of our channel content, and I'll set aside time each week to go through that content and hopefully get up sort of like a week late staggered highlight reels, perhaps on the same day as the streams themselves. That way you can, sort of engage with the streams sort of on like a week delay. So like I said, I know that's going to be a lot of work, but it is a labor of love, just like everything else really that we do here for the channel. So I love to entertain you guys, so really let me know what you think of the highlight reels once I start getting those up. I'm going to start editing on that here in the next couple of days from the last week, which I have archived on Twitch and now downloaded the various parts of. So give me some feedback as to whether or not you guys enjoy seeing those highlight reels once they go up. And speaking of upcoming projects, I've got several on a couple of different burners, some of which I've already started on, some I'm going to be starting on tonight or tomorrow or later on in the week. And I just want to give you guys a little bit of an idea of what to expect from us. The most ambitious thing that I'm going to be working on in the very, very near future is a sort of expose special of sorts on a corrupt indie game that is in development right now that I feel warrants warning you all about. I will not name names. Those of you who turned out for the stream, you guys know what I'm talking about, and I will probably get that out within the week. On a much more amusing note, I've also now picked up the game Turbo Dismount, which you've probably seen content of from a few other more popular YouTubers lately. Picked it up on a Steam sale, and I've been wanting to get my hands on that for a long time now. It's just a platform for utter hysteria in terms of creating amusing content. It's like it was made for YouTubers, and I've really enjoyed watching what some other folks have done, and I've wanted to put my own spin on it for a while now. So since its price dropped down, that's what my brain was doing. It was jumping a word ahead. It dropped down into a range that I could actually afford. I managed to pick that up, so look forward to some Turbo Dismount from us in the very near future as well. Now, some of you guys have asked what's next for Let's Plays here on the channel. I've got a couple that are nearing completion right now, and I've gotten some questions as to what's going to be coming up next, and I've got several planned for like mod playthroughs, like Project Nevada for Fallout New Vegas, Alton, Illinois for Fallout 3, and here's a look at my desktop. Every single one of the icons that you see to the right are games that I intend to feature here on the channel, whether they be for first 15s or for full-on, full-length Let's Play series. There's a lot that I have to get to, and these up here at the top are indie games, which I have also yet to play and feature. This little bunch down here are Skyrim mods that I'm going to attempt to feature either myself or Violeta spotlights for by trying out different recording programs other than Fraps. Like Ghost suggested using O.B.s, since you can do local recordings with that. I have not yet tested that. However, pretty much anything is going to work better than Fraps at this point. So if you guys do see Skyrim mod spotlights come up from us in the very near future, it's because it worked. Now, over here in the bottom left are a bunch of Fallout New Vegas mods that I have yet to get to. So as you can see, I've got a mountain of content that I've got to get to, and that I'm a little bit behind on, in fact. So no worries, we've got content for days, months, and weeks. Wait, that was the wrong order. Days, weeks, and months. That's what you heard. Correct. These aren't the sentences you're looking for. So no worries to those of you that were like, well, what are you going to do when you run out of stuff? I've got plenty to do. Also, I want to give deep, heartfelt thanks to two of our viewers right now. Those two being Jack, Gesundheit last name, and Grendel. Both of which have been sort of, we've called them our O.G.s for the streams. They've had enormous patience with us. They've turned out for every stream we've done yet. Most of them have been, or rather, both of them have been apparently long-time viewers here of the channel. It was in fact Jack that brought the game Smite to my attention. Grendel let me know that he's been a pretty long-time viewer of the channel, but just never really commented and interacted much until we started doing streaming. And the both of them have been amazing. Why? Because Jack, however, just the other day gave us our first channel donation via Twitch. We finally got a little donate button built into the, what do they call them? The panels underneath the Twitch broadcast, and that was really, really moving. There's this weird anomaly with the Twitch community that is so generous that one wouldn't expect from modern internet culture. We usually think of internet culture as being very, self-centered and greedy and just entitled, but it's weird. There's this little island of positivity and generosity in the Twitch viewership and fans that I never really expected to, I don't want to use the word benefit from, but to be positively touched by, and that's exactly what I was. I was touched by that gesture, and then again by Grendel, because he then, the next day after I realized that we had received the donation from Jack, Grendel donated Dark Souls Prepare to Die Edition to me on Steam, with the caveat that I then feature a first 15 for the game. An obligation which I am quite happy, let's try this again, to oblige. That was, the man in me does not want to say, but I was damn near moved to tears by that when I logged into Steam for the afternoon to start working, and I just saw a message from him just saying, enjoy Dark Souls. I'm going, wait, what? And then I checked my other Steam notifications, and it's like, you've been gifted with this. I'm going, no, he didn't. And Violeta then joined me shortly thereafter, and she was damn near moved to tears, so some of you may see that as a little thing, but it was, to me, not just a gift. It was a compliment. It was telling me that you guys not only like seeing my material, but that you trust my judgment as, a critic to give you guys solid recommendations, as well as an entertainer to do just that, to entertain you guys. And that's basically an investment into the show that we're building here, and that really, really means a lot. You guys are awesome, and I echo Violeta's sentiments that all of you, even those of you who have given us nothing more than your viewership, are the very best fans we could ever ask for. And I know that we can accomplish great things, not just as a channel, but as a community, as a collective voice, as we grow, as we get larger, and I can't wait to show the world what we're made of once we reach the point where doing charity drive streams and things like that are a real feasibility and a possibility for us. Now that said though, it's funny, I talked to Violeta and also to a couple of you on and off of stream about this. But there's a selfish little part of me that is really going to miss these days. While our channel is still relatively small, while the community really feels not like a fan base, not a fandom of viewership, but like a bunch of friends that actually really enjoy each other's company, that like to hang out every week, and that actually converse and interact with one another on a personal level, not just, fan to host and, viewer to show, but really as friends. I'm gonna miss these days when eventually, as we grow, I know it's going to get harder to hang on to that atmosphere. I mean, I'll be really sad to see that go. I'll of course manage to strive to keep in touch with those of you that have become more than just fans, that have really become, friends of not just the channel, but of Violeta and I on a personal level. I mean, Lord knows I wouldn't be where I'm at even now, much less further on a few months from now, without some of the direct help like that we received from Ghost from some of you guys. And in the spirit of kind of preserving that sense of community, it's been suggested by a few of you guys that we come up with a way for viewers, for our really core diehard fans and participants, to kind of get in on the show here at Last Level Press, and especially on streams. And we've tossed a couple of ideas around on how to really do that, but I'm not really keen on the concept of like premium content that you have to pay to access, because I don't like keeping content from anybody, whether you pay or not. But I know the line has got to get drawn somewhere, so this is where I kind of give the floor to you guys in the comments section. Let me know if you guys have any ideas on what we can do to try and find a good compromise, a middle ground on, as we grow, allowing for that, but still preserving some parts of the rather tight-knit community that we've kind of built already, that we can still kind of preserve and still kind of allow new folks into, as long as they prove themselves. It's been tossed around that we should do things like doing, fan meetups via Gmod with, like, cinema mode and stuff like that. That was an idea that I bounced around, and some of you guys really liked the idea of. Some of you guys suggested creating a private Minecraft server, which I don't know how to do. However, one of our sort of adjuncts, Miss TARDIS, whom you will be meeting relatively soon via some new Minecraft Madness material that we've got cooking up, who knows Minecraft and how to build servers and routing and all of that a hell of a lot better than I do. So she may be able to help us out on that end, and then have, like, say, Twitch subscribers actually be allowed to join us on that private server. I don't know. We're not really set in stone on anything. Nothing is concrete. So, like I said, guys, give us some ideas on what you think could be a good way to involve you guys and still allow our core viewership to actually still retain that integral part of the show that we've got now. And I guess everything that I just talked about is really a roundabout way to express two simple words. Thank you. I would not, could not be doing any of this without you guys. And while I know some of you are going to immediately turn around and call me modest, well, no, you're the one doing the show, I will still tell you no. Because I may be driving, I may be the captain at the helm here at LLP, but you guys are the ones that are rowing the oars. You're the ones doing the real work. You're sharing our channel with your friends, you're liking our content, you're participating in the comments, you're adding us to favorite lists, you're sharing us on social media. You're the ones that are getting out there and helping to spread the word about us. Without you guys, I would just be so much ego, beard, and baritone calling out into the darkness. So don't underestimate how much you guys just simply watching our material really does, even on a practical level, help us get where we want to go, to achieve the dreams that we're chasing down. I mean, heck, look up the way that Google actually ranks videos if you need convincing. There's a practical end to all of this, after all. Those of you that, even for our long episodic series, the likes of Stalker, that can go, 30, 40 minutes, even up to an hour, those of you that watch the entirety of those episodes, you're helping us on a practical level. And it's, on the one part, flattering to me that you like our content to want to watch it for that long. I mean, hell, that's half a movie's length. But the way that Google ranks content, it's not necessarily about, like it used to be, the amount of, likes to views. That ratio has become less important with the way that they rank things now. It's now how much of the number of hits is ratioed, I'm terrible at math, you all know this, to how long an audience on average actually watches a video. If things that are 40 minutes long are only watched for 5 minutes on average, that video is going to go really low in the search rankings. And I know a lot of you guys, despite how long some of my content, especially mine in particular, gets, you watch it through to the end anyway. And like I said, that's awesome on so many levels, because it means you're enjoying it, it means you appreciate what I have to do, plus watching the whole way through helps us out on a practical level. So like I said, I just wanted to break that down so that you don't just feel like I'm just, wanting to kiss ass and play up the yay, I appreciate my fans card that I've seen some other people do. No, I really do mean it. You guys really actually do help. But because I've been asked by a few of you guys, I didn't even really want to go into this because it's just not a subject that I really like to delve into, but because I've been asked, I'll answer. If you guys want to help out a bit more, I'll tell you the same thing that I told the guys on the stream last week. I will never ask you for money. Not for me. I will when it's not for me that I'm asking for it for. I'll, of course, once we start up doing charity drives, like I fully intend to do once we reach a larger audience, that we can actually, achieve charity goals, and not just be like, well, we raised 50 cents. Once we actually get a sizable enough audience to be able to do that, I will, of course, be asking you guys to donate to those charities, but never to me. If you want, you know where to find our donate buttons if you're so inclined. And of course, I thank any of you guys that decide that that's, what's something that you want to do. If you do decide that that's, something that you want to help us out with, if you want to support us that way, but I will never ask you to do so. Nor will I ever blackmail you guys out of going, well, you have to reach such and such donations for me to do X. No, I'll never do that, ever. The only thing that I will ever ask you all to do is just to spread the word. Share our videos with your friends and your family, like our videos, add them to your favorites list, and a lot of you guys are already doing that. So all I can ask of you is to just keep doing what you're doing. Now, anyway, that got awfully sappy here at the tail end, but I warned you. I warned you at the beginning, kind of, sort of. I told you I would go into some of those subjects, so I kind of warned you a little bit. But like I meant every word of it. It's something that's been on my mind, and that, like I said, I mentioned to those that turned out for streaming, but that I've neglected to really address for those of you that don't or can't do so here on YouTube. And there are 300 more of you than there are of our streaming regulars. So I did not want to leave any of you guys wondering in terms of where I stand in all this, where Vi stands in all of it. So thank you all so much for watching. I wanted to sort of end on a high note, which this is as high as it really gets. So thank you all for watching here at Last Level Press. I look forward to more good times in the very near future. Like I said, I'm about to click on some of those icons over there that you saw a moment ago and get straight to said good times. So I'm Mr. Black here at Last Level Press, and as always, wish you all good gaming and Godspeed. Some of you may recognize this desk from the Midas Touch series, from my Dota review, from Last Days, among other things. And I use the big black sheet rigged up back there so that you may recognize this angle-ish, sort of. There we go.